We often talk at Zuplo about how we're the best, most programmable API gateway and API management platform on the market. We also talk a lot about developer experience. And can you really make those two claims of prioritizing developer experience and being the most programmable gateway on the market if you don't support step-through debugging? I don't think so. So let's take a look at step-through debugging on Zuplo using Visual Studio Code here on my Mac. So I'm going to create a new project here in this terminal window, npm create Zuplo-API at latest. That's going to ask me for a project name. Let's call it debug demo. That's going to create a folder and give me some instructions. So I'm going to just copy those and paste that in. That's going to change directory into the debug demo folder. It's going to run npm install to install the modules we need. We will get a few warnings out of that install. Don't worry, these are just modules that are used locally. They're not run in production or anything. And then we're going to do npm run dev. What npm run dev is going to do is launch the gateway running on localhost 9000, and it's also going to launch our locally running OpenAPI designer, which allows you to sort of configure a Zuplo. So let's just wait for that npm install to finish, and then we'll take a look. Okay, here we go. Our gateway is up and running, so let's cut and paste that URL that we're presented with here. And what we'll see is we get a message saying you have no routes. Add a route in the routes.oas.json file to get started. That is the standard response from Zuplo if the API has not been configured. So we're going to come here and we're going to go to port 9100, and what you'll see now is our pretty awesome locally running designer for your OpenAPI file. I'm going to add a route. We're going to call that route hello world with a lowercase e / hello. And we're going to change this to use a function because I want to show you debugging. I'm going to save that, and that will actually update live. So if I refresh this, I'll get a 404. I expect that because I'm not on the right path. If I go to hello, I will get what's up. What's up is the code that you'll see inside the hello world module. I'm going to stop this running now with Control C, and then we're going to open this up in VS Code. So code.open that. And then if you look in here, this will look familiar to you. There's the hello world module returning what's up that we saw below. And we have a config file here, config files with routes.oas.json, all of the stuff you're used to seeing in portal.zuplo.com, but now here running locally on my local machine. Let's go and change hello world. Let's do something a little bit more fun here. Let's make a little add function that adds two query strings together. So I'm going to say const a string equals request.query.a. and const b string equals request.query.b. Thank you, Copilot, for helping with that. And then we'll do const a num equals, yep, it knows. So that's going to pass the numbers. Then we're going to do a check. And it says return invalid input. I don't love this. I'm going to return a new response. And that can say invalid input and have a status of 400. That looks good. And then what we're going to return is a num plus b num. Right, so very simple adder function, but I'm going to put a stop on this about here. We're going to save that. And then we're going to come here to run and debug, and we're going to choose launch and attach Zuplo. There we go. So we're now attached. So if I come back here and let's add some query string here, a equals 10 and b equals 3. Then we step in, we'll see a string is 10, b string is 3. Let me just make a little bit more room here. And we can just step over these functions. So enum, looking good, looking good. Yep, let's see what we get. Let's let that run through. And there we go. We get a response coming back of 13. You can do this with multi-modules. It works just how you'd expect. Step through debugging for your API management and API gateway platform using Zuplo.